A quick follow-up to my SR Servi heavy weapon version. I'm still struggling with that alt mode. Um, I'm not quite certain, which weapon do I lean on, which... I did discover one thing, though. This weapon one here doesn't shoot quite as far as the other two do, so I think this might actually be a medium-ranged weapon that goes out to just beyond visual range, but it doesn't extend all the way out to a long range like these other two do. It definitely has a shorter range than 2 and 3 do. But I'm still struggling with which weapon should I lean on, which one's going to do more damage than the other, which I'm still trying to figure out the balance. One thing I did learn though is that I got my ass thoroughly trashed in a number of mobile armors that I was using as part of a tag event. Anyways, I got my ass handed to me. One thing I couldn't figure out is why my mobile armors, which very much anti-flinch units, they kept getting knocked over so easily. There was, no melee around me because, I know how to deal with melee and an anti-flinch, especially those big units. But for whatever reason, I was getting knocked over a lot. I couldn't figure out what it was. Well, it turns out, and this, as some people on the forums correctly pointed out, by the way, and also on YouTube, if I'd run units in PvP more often, I might have noticed I would notice some things other than just fighting in training mode or whatever it is. Well, yes, that is true. But I doubt it would have come to me that it was actually that Servi heavy weapon version that was actually knocking me over all the time. Well, I asked around, I was like, well, I'm not aware of the Servi having a double shot knockdown. The only weapons that knock down are weapon 3 here and weapon 3 here. And then I had my aha moment. It turns out what you can do is if you fire weapon 3 in this mode, quickly transform. Let's see. Come on, change. Oh, I guess it won't. Okay. If you quickly transform and then fire weapon 3 in the other mode, then you can knock them over. If you can transform and fire both those shots within 2 seconds, you can indeed knock down an anti-flinch unit. Big or small does not matter. It will knock them over. So that was something I was like, okay, that's actually a good thing to have on the server. You actually can, if you work at it, you can knock down a unit. Still, I did end up putting a long-range reload on it. Kind of needs it, and then I just buffed the hell out of the defense because, well, this is about as close to as a tanky cannon as I can get, and I'm just going to have to deal with it or something. I don't know. So, yeah, that's the update on the Servi. I'm still struggling with it, but I just need time to practice. I need to spar with somebody. I need to spar with somebody and take my time and ask those questions. And I can't do that in these little videos, which, by the way, I'm totally distracted right now. Anyways, with that update out of the way, I'm actually here to review a unit that ordinarily I would not be reviewing because it is not an S rank. I've made a number of videos where it's been an A rank that was reviewed, but those were few and far between well over 6-7 months ago when I was doing that. Usually it was prominent A ranks that I thought were particularly good, but I just kind of got out of the habit of it, so I didn't really post any of them. Like the Spiegel Mesagrans was one of them, but don't care. It's melee, dumbfire melee. How difficult is that? But this one's unusual. This is actually a B rank that I'm going to be reviewing. Now, what's unique about this situation is that this is a B rank that I've actually had for quite some time. It's a B rank you don't see very often on the battlefield, and that is the Reges backpack weapon system. Reges meaning Refined Gundam Zeta. I got this in Gashapon year and a half, 2 years ago, thereabouts, so I have a bit of experience with it. Now, of course, when you get a unit out of Gashapon, it's already pre-leveled up. Nowadays, they're at level 6 or level 7. Back in the pre-G generation, when I got it, or was it G Revolution, I think they called it in North America, in pre-G gen, it would have been like level 8, level 9, something like that. Like the leveling system was a lot different then. So that's why this is at level 10, is because I used it a number of times. I didn't use it much in PvP, which, yeah, I know, I should have. But I used it enough to get I think I got a reasonable feel for it. It's not one of my top units. It's not even one of my top B ranks, but I can use it reliably, I'll say. I have confidence with it. It has new type awakening at 50%, so agility, which I never noticed, slightly increased booster capacity. It's nice they tell you how much. Display opponents on radar. I almost never look at my radar because I rarely have I rarely have enemies displayed on there. Increased search distance, which makes no difference to me whatsoever because I'll either see them or I won't. Doesn't matter. The only people who have to worry about search distance is long-range spam, such as on that SRC video I was just talking about. Anyways, because this unit has a built-in reload up skill on it, you do not have to worry about reload up. You don't have to worry about it at all. So yeah, that's not an issue whatsoever. I mean, you wouldn't think that something like this would ever reload up, but believe it or not, it's nice to have the reload up. It actually gets to the point where beam rifles, you can shoot them so much that you're reloading almost as fast as you're shooting. So the reload up is a nice thing. It's a decent spammer at medium range. Just because I have experience with it doesn't mean I know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyways, moving on. By the way, in case you're wondering, because you can't grab it from the top, and you can't rotate these units in the hangar, which is really stupid. It turns out that I can't rotate it right now. There we go. Okay, so and then when you purge, yes. By the way, something that is unusual about the Reges is that it is a purging B rank. B ranks usually transform; they usually don't purge. There is a reason behind that. I'll get to that in a moment here. Decal ends up on the chest, front left skirt, and the shield, as opposed to remaining on the shield here, but since you can't see the skirts in this mode, obviously, it ends up on the top of each wing. When painting up, I usually don't worry about what it's going to look like in this mode, just because it's going to be all gobbledygook. I'd worry about painting it in this mode, so I don't really have to put green on there because it doesn't change that much. It helps. It gives it a little bit of an edge, but, it's okay. And then when you transform, looks something like that. I like how it highlights the fact that it's a purging unit, even when it does its ready up. When I do the Unit 4 color scheme, it's actually not too... The scheme between the navy blue scheme I came up with and Ava Unit 4's coloring, they're actually not too dissimilar. Although considering how much black ends up on this thing as a result, I might actually take it off the shoulders. I don't know. Honestly, this, in my opinion, is a good unit to paint up. It'll look good pretty much no matter what you do to it. Of course, what it ends up looking like in the other mode, yeah, you just kind of have to deal with it. But for the most part, the Reges, when purged, turns out pretty nice. I'm going to show you what the reload is before before it gets the reload up. Ten shots, 11 with a little bit of patience. But as you can see, reload rate is just fine. So when you get the reload up in there, it's actually quite handy, especially with that beam cannon. Sometimes it helps to have that there. See, I better start actually getting some SP up at this point. There we go. Now you can see that the reload rates are incredibly faster. Pretty much as fast as you're going to use it, it'll give you shots back. So yep, that's pretty awesome. Nice wide beam cannon right there. Not a sniper. But it does go out to long range and it does knock down. Darn it, I was going to say something. The long-range beam cannon does not penetrate. It'll only hit the nearest unit. It will not penetrate. And I don't think it has a wide firing arc, so I don't think you can hit multiple units. So I know it doesn't purge, or I know it doesn't penetrate, but I don't think it hits multiples. Nope. But you know, that would be OP for a B rank. Softmax, please nerf. Too OP. Let's see, is that true? Yeah, it's only hitting one unit. I'm gonna go right between them. And it truly went right between them. Knock over, damn you! It's a spec! You're supposed to die from a spec! Nope. A reminder to you, this is a purging unit. The reason it purges is because the backpack is actually a booster. It's not part of the unit itself. Unlike the Justice Gundam or any other number of units. This one, it's a one-time use backpack. So once you use up all the weapons on it, although why would you really need to, it'll go away forever. Basically, the backpack is there to get you into the battlefield as quickly as possible. You create a lot of overwhelming firepower on your way there, and then when you get there, you can finally purge and start doing what you come here to do. 10 shots on the beam rifle without the reload up on it, by the way. I'm sorry, I think it's 12 shots. But again, as with the backpack mode, you use it up pretty much as fast as you're going to recharge it. Actually, it's ironic, if you didn't have the reload up, this beam rifle would reload slower than the twin shot beam rifle in the other mode. Those grenades are awesome. This, by the way, is again one of those exceptions to my great distaste for how dumbfire is used in SDGO. This is one of the exceptions to the rule. Because A, you can move when you're shooting it. B, it fires in clusters. C, it's designed to do a lot of damage in a short amount of time. As opposed to, I'll say, the majority of the dumbfire, which is like 1 or 2 rockets. And, travels a long distance, but doesn't travel quickly. So this is actually one of the exceptions to dumbfire. I can use it at close range. And as you can see right there, I just put all 3 shots on that poor Dom right there. So, which is more than, 3 beam rifle shots, which is more than, well, actually 4. Let's see, is it 4 and 4? Yeah. So, believe it or not, the melee is actually the weakest weapon of the 3. But, it's a scissors, so it's not going to, it's not supposed to have super strong melee. But its medium range game is very appropriate. By the way, while we're waiting for me to get into a corner and show you how fast and far this thing can go, I'd like to point a special thanks out to all the trolls on the OG Planet forums who kept my GNArms Dynamis video up so high that it's actually my highest viewed video at this point, well over 250 hits as of this recording. So thank you very much to the trolls. I hate your guts, and I wish you all would die in a fire. But I can't deny the influence you've had over the forums, so GG assholes. On the other hand, I'm not allowed to use that kind of language in the forums, so meh. Good jumping and boost speed on both of them. Let's see, I'm just going to get rid of these guys real quick. Can't do that with a beam rifle. And notice quickly, or notice with these kinds of cluster rockets how quickly my SP goes up as well. That's another good reason to use it. Kind of makes up for it. It's got good speed, but of course because you've got a booster, not a skill, but because that booster is it's a temporary thing. It's meant to give you a longer boost duration. It's supposed to conserve your fuel and your supplies until you get into the thick of the battle. So that's why the Reges, when purged, has a lower boost duration. Because, well, the backpack has to count for something, right? By the way, I never said that my videos here are meant to be a replacement for any of the battle videos, the in-game footage. I don't know why I'm bringing that up here. It doesn't really matter, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just here to show you the basics. How many swings? How much damage does it do? How long does it take to reload? How long is the boost duration? I'm showing you the basics here. That's all that these videos do. If you want to know about things like... was it the MCA, how far, oops, yeah, which I fail at, by the way. You see, that's why I don't show those kinds of videos, because you can already see that kind of stuff in another video. I just so happen to suck at, see, to the side, and yeah, it's not going to hit. But you see, I suck at MCA, I suck at ZBS. That's why I don't show you in-game footage, because if I did show you in-game footage, well, nobody would watch the videos. I'm showing the basics. I'm showing those who are window shopping. That's what I'm here for. Reges is worth it, I think. Definitely worth it. Now, there are currently only two ways that you can get the Reges backpack weapon system. BWS, backpack weapon system, whatever. There are two ways you can get it. Ironically, it's the exact same path. The only way... now, I got this one through Gashapon, over 2 years ago. The other way you can get it... Well, that's one way you can get it, and that's assuming they ever release it in Gashapon again, or if they ever they might put it into the what's it called, the item capsule machines. I'm not saying they are here. I'm saying they might. But again, item capsule machines, that's a temporary thing. They're only here for a short period of time. Looks like they're only there for about 2, maybe 3 weeks at a time. So item capsule machine is not necessarily reliable, nor is Gashapon. The only reliable way to get it is not in the shop. You cannot get the blueprint, and you cannot buy the unit anywhere. The only way you can get it, the only way you can get the Reges, is from a Chronicle quest. Well, it's not a Chronicle quest. It's a quest, and you have to do Battleships of Gunfire on normal. You have to do it on hard, and then you have to do it on expert. Now, you only have to do it once, but each of these has a requirement. For example, this first one requires you have to kill 40 strike daggers and 2 105s. This one's 40 and 2. This last one here is a pain in the ass. 60 strike daggers and 15 105 daggers. And then, eventually you get the unit itself. So this is the way that everybody can get it. That's the way I got one of the two that I have. Once you do that, okay, you've got a Reges. If you want to get more than one, it kind of drags it out a little longer. What you end up doing is you're going to have to do grinding of Battleships of Gunfire a lot more than you think. In order to get multiple Reges on a regular basis, you're going to have to get this emblem, Battleships of Gunfire Expert difficulty. Once you get the full chain, once you complete this whole ladder of emblems, and you get this final one, then what you can do is you go into your research, and fortunately it's in Laboratory 2. It's right here, because Laboratory 2 you can use the 50% research reduction. You can do that thing as well. So you can actually get this instantly if you'd like to, assuming you have the Astros to buff it up. But you can see that the requirement, complete Battleships of Gunfire Expert difficulty. In order to obtain this mission emblem, you must, as I just said, go through Battleships of Gunfire emblem chain. So, and by the way, unless I'm mistaken, I think that Reges backpack weapon system is the only unit that is permanent in the laboratory. It is always there. All of these rotate out whenever, like, I think they rotate it like once every 3 or 4 months, whatever it is. However it is that OG Planet has it set up. But the Reges backpack weapon system is always in Laboratory 2. It might be in Laboratory 1. I think it actually was in there one time, but it's not in Laboratory 2 anymore. You can see it's not there. So, that's how you get the Reges backpack weapon system. You have to do a lot of mission grinding. I tried for a long time to do Battleships of Gunfire on Expert, and just half an hour ago, this is the first Reges right here that I've ever gotten from completed that mission, from actually getting the quest completed. So this one I was lucky, I got it from Gashapon. This one I actually got it the legitimate way. So I'm kind of proud of myself. So yeah, that's it for my 2 cents on the Reges. It's a B rank, but it's pretty solid. Honestly, I'd say do an attack up and maybe increase mobility, or I don't think it really needs a defense up. I mean, that's up to you. Most people seem to prefer agility and dodging over defense anyways. I'm more of a tanky cannon player, jack of all trades, than I am a paper ninja. So, oh well, that's not the only thing I swim against the current about on SDGO. And so with that, this is AV Unit 4A saying thanks for tuning in.